people with group insurance. Okay, people with group insurance. So again, when I'm talking to them about life insurance on the kitchen table, I'm asking them, well, who does your life insurance? They say, well, I have it through work. I say, well, that's great, but who does your life insurance? They say, well, I just told you I have it through work. So you don't have any private insurance at all? And I ask them with a little bit of question, and I let them react to me. And I want to see where they are emotionally in that. I say, well, is it all right if I give you a couple of minute education on group insurance? And what we always recommend, and what most experts recommend, is whatever you can get for free from work, take. Free is good. Get as much as possible. Okay, but whatever your family would need, you want to make sure that you own privately. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you why that is. Is that okay if I share that with you for a couple of minutes? Great. Okay, so Bob and Susan, really the first reason why we want to have life insurance outside of work is the trend. Okay, every headline you read, every news story you see today, does it show employees jumping for joy outside of their corporate offices and the news anchor saying, employees ecstatic, benefits getting better and better, employees paying less but getting more, everybody's toasting champagne glasses outside of the work? Is that what it shows? They say, no, of course not. Of course not. It doesn't show that, right? It's the exact opposite. Employees shouldering more and more of the cost of their own benefits. Employee benefits going away. Employees going contract so they don't have to be given health benefits and different benefits. The trend in employee benefits is that employees are shouldering more of the burden, more of the cost, and getting less and less value. Would you agree with that, Bob and Susan? Of course you would. Okay, so when it comes to something as serious as protecting our family and making sure that when we need it, that coverage is there, I don't think it makes much sense to put that in the hands of our employer and bet against a very clear and obvious trend. You would agree with that statement, right? Of course you would. Great. The second thing is you need to be working there in order to be eligible most of the time. There are some policies that have portability riders on them or different features. They tend to get very, very expensive, and they're very, very few and far between. By and large, most of the time, the employee must be employed there to be eligible for their employee benefits, right? And what I say to them is, I say this, in today's day and age, 30 and out is gone, right? Most people are going from job to job. They get downsized. There's just no loyalty anymore with companies. You'd agree with that, right? So, what are the odds of you staying at your job forever, never getting a better offer, never starting your own business, never retiring, and just one day dropping dead, right? I mean, it's potential, but it's a small potential. And if the policy is enforced, your employer's chosen to keep it, and that happens, I have no doubt in my mind that you would be paid. The problem is there's a lot of reasons you wouldn't be paid, like you left the job, you went somewhere else that didn't have it, et cetera. So when it comes to something as important as protecting your family's financial future, we don't want to have that tied to our continuous performance at a job we may not like, may not be able to do, or we get a better offer. You'd agree that it would make sense for you to have control of that rather than tying it to your employment status, right? Of course you would. Great. The third issue is generally you've got to be on active payroll. So not only do you need to be working there, okay, but you need to be actively employed, okay? In a lot of cases, if you cannot be on a long-term disability or other things, these benefits shut down. So a lot of people don't understand is, something happens, they get very hurt, they end up in the hospital, they're taking extended amounts of time off work, maybe they're sick, and inadvertently, no cause of their own, they switch from an active payroll status to a disability status, and many times that coverage goes away with their active payroll status. They didn't know, they thought they were all set. When it comes time to pay that claim can be denied a lot of times because they're not on an active payroll. So again, what are the odds of us working at the same place forever, never getting a better offer, never going contract, never retiring, and not getting sick or hurt prior to passing away? Again, so now we're really whittling down the use of this, which is generally why it's free, right? You've heard the saying, you get what you pay for. Okay, so free is great, take as much as you can. But we want to make sure that we have control. We don't want to be having our family sitting in a hospital potentially someday, looking at a time frame and saying, if they go this much longer, we're not going to have an insurance benefit, right? We want to make sure that your family has everything they need to make sure that you have what you need to get better and to fight through it, and not be looking at time frames on a work insurance policy. You would agree with that, right? Of course you would. The fourth benefit is a living benefit, okay? And on our product, there's a living benefit that allows you to take 40% up to $250,000 out while you are alive. If, God forbid, you were diagnosed with a terminal illness, you had 6 months or less left to live, there's some other factors there that you need to look at, policy size and other things, okay? But that you can take out while you're alive, that you could take to get medical treatment, maybe some different avant-garde medical treatment, things that are not readily available. Maybe your insurance wouldn't pay for them. Pay your bills, pay your mortgage off, maybe take your family on a vacation. And if, God forbid, you ever found yourself in a situation where that happened and you had access to a benefit of $250,000, okay, maybe less, maybe a little more depending on the structure of your policy. But if you had that, that would be helpful in that situation. You would agree with that, right? Well, your work policy does not have that. There's no living benefit associated with your group insurance at work. Okay, so that's another reason why it makes sense. So whatever you're getting for free, great. But anything that you need, we need to get privately. Now you understand why, right? Okay, very good, great. Let's go ahead and get that process started.